This video is made to be watched either with or without sound. The Neo-Assyrian Empire, 911 to 609 BC, had a long-standing reputation for extreme ruthlessness and cruelty. In 872 BC, Jehu became king of Israel in Samaria after he killed Ahaziah, king of Judah, Joram, king of Israel, and Ahab's wife Jezebel. Just a few years later, we see the mighty Jehu bowing down in submission to Shalmaneser III, king of Assyria. Then about 100 years later, after the death of King Adad-nirari III, circa 782 BC, Assyria entered a several years long period of weakness. Although the Assyrian king is not named in the book of Jonah, this kinder, gentler Assyria after Adad-nirari III seems to correspond to the timing of Jonah's preaching and Nineveh's repentance. Adad-nirari III had 4 sons that would succeed him in ruling Assyria, one after the other. Tiglath-Pileser III would be the last of these 4 sons to reign, and his intentions were to restore Assyria's tyrannical reputation. Even before he took the throne, Tiglath-Pileser was exacting tribute from the kings of Damascus and Tyre, as well as from Menahem, king of Samaria. These 3 kings are mentioned by name in the annals of Tiglath-Pileser and on the Iran stele. We know this was before Tiglath-Pileser took the throne because Menahem's 10-year reign aligns chronologically within Ashur-dan's rule in Assyria. Also, Pul is a name used in the Hebrew Bible to refer to Tiglath-Pileser before he was king. See 2 Kings chapter 15 and 1 Chronicles chapter 5. Then in 745 BC, Tiglath-Pileser took the throne in Assyria on the 13th day of the month Azharu. This was the 3rd year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and the 13th year of Pekah, king of Israel, and the 12th year of Jotham, king of Judah. Then 4 years later in Judah, Jotham rested with his fathers, and Ahaz his son reigned in his place. In the 17th year of Pekah, son of Remaliah, Ahaz, the son of Jotham, king of Judah, began to reign in Jerusalem. While Ahaz was reigning in Judah and Pekah was reigning in Israel, Rezin, king of Syria, and Pekah, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, came up to Jerusalem to make war. The king of Syria carried away a great multitude of them as captives and brought them to Damascus. And Pekah, the son of Remaliah, killed 120,000 in Judah in one day, all valiant men. Ahaz sent messengers to Tiglath-Pileser, saying, "Come up and save me from the king of Syria and the king of Israel." Ahaz took the silver and gold from the temple and from his own treasury and sent it to the king of Assyria. A clay tablet has been discovered that records Tiglath-Pileser receiving tribute from Ahaz of Judah. At that time, Tiglath-Pileser began to take over parts of Israel. Pul, king of Assyria, that is, Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, carried the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh into captivity. From the annals of Tiglath-Pileser, I annexed to Assyria Gilead, the borderland of Israel. I brought to Assyria its army and people. After conquering Israel on the east side of the Jordan, Tiglath-Pileser began to conquer the northern portion of Israel that remained. In the days of Pekah, king of Israel, Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, came and took Gilead, Galilee, and all the land of Naphtali, and he carried them captive to Assyria. From the annals of Tiglath-Pileser, I utterly demolished of 16 districts of the land Israel. I carried off to Assyria captives from altogether 13,520 people with their belongings, to the cities of Ramah and Marum, which are situated in rugged mountains. Then, in what would have been the 20th year of Jotham, if he had reigned that long, Hoshea the son of Elah led a conspiracy against Pekah the son of Remaliah, and struck and killed him in the 20th year of Jotham the son of Uzziah. But Hoshea didn't start reigning in Israel yet, because the king of Assyria uncovered a conspiracy by Hoshea, and the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. From the annals of Tiglath-Pileser, they killed Pekah their king. I received 10 talents of gold, talents of silver, their property, and I brought them to Assyria. This part of the chronology continues to baffle many scholars. One problem comes from assuming that Hoshea took the throne immediately after killing Pekah. He did not. Hoshea spent the next several years in prison before he took the throne. In his famous book, Edwin Thiele attempted to reconcile the chronology of the divided kingdom, but he did so under the false assumption that Hoshea began to reign immediately after assassinating Pekah. Thiele then incorrectly concluded that the 20th year of Jotham and the 12th year of Ahaz must be the same year. Just like starting to button your shirt on the wrong buttonhole, this false synchronism causes more problems for Thiele down the line. In an effort to make Jotham's 20th year and Ahaz's 12th year the same year, Thiele shifts the beginning of Pekah's reign all the way back to the beginning of Menahem's reign. He theorizes that they were rivals reigning at the same time in different areas. Thiele's theory is quickly refuted by the dates given in the Bible, but Thiele explains that the Bible is incorrect because the editors lacked understanding and provided wrong dating. Thiele is asking us to ignore the Bible's three clear synchronisms between Hoshea and Hezekiah, and accept his theory that Hezekiah didn't start reigning in Judah until after Hoshea and all of Israel were gone. Thiele's rejection of the scriptures in favor of his own theory is unfortunate and unnecessary. 2 Kings 15:30 is admittedly confusing, but when placed in our spreadsheet with 2 Kings chapter 17, we can see that the assassination of Pekah was one event, and Hoshea taking the throne was another event entirely. Two different events with two different dates. In Tiglath-Pileser's 12th and 13th year, Assyria battled Damascus. The king of Assyria went up against Damascus and took it, carried its people captive to Kir, and killed Rezin. From the annals of Tiglath-Pileser, Metinti of the land of Ashkelon neglected the loyalty oath and revolted against me. He saw the defeat of Rezin and became afraid. He was stricken with panic. At this point, Tiglath-Pileser has conquered and deported most of Israel. Samaria will remain for about another decade. In the next video, Tiglath-Pileser will release Hoshea from prison and put him on the throne in Samaria. You can download some of the charts seen in this video by clicking the links in the description of this video. You can also download the complete timeline PDF spreadsheet, complete with clickable hot links, perfect for referencing on your computer, tablet, or phone.